Find the value of the unknown in the following equation. So we're looking at a equation here with fractions. So the first fraction over 4, second one over 3, second one over 2. So first of all, we have to deal with those fractions before we can solve the equation. So in order to add or subtract fractions, what we need to find is our common denominator. Now the denominator is the number that's on the bottom of the fraction. So I'm basically looking to find a number that both 4, 3 and 2 will divide into. The easiest one is a 12. If you're unable to spot it, the best way to do it is always multiply the numbers by each other. So 4 by 2 by 3 is 24. So it doesn't have to be the lowest common denominator, it just has to be a common denominator. But I'm spotting that it's 12. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to rewrite my 3 fractions. So the first one subtract the second one equals to the third one. And I now have to figure out, how do I make those denominators become 12? So on the first one here, it was originally over 4. The second one was over 3, and the third one was over 2. So I'm looking at the first one now, and in order to make that 4 become a 12, I basically just need to multiply it by a 3. So I'm going to put a 3 here in front of it to say that I'm multiplying by 3 to make 12. When I come to the second one, I already have it over 3, but I need to make it a 12 again. So what do we have to multiply 3 by to make 12? I have to multiply it by a 4. And on the third one, I have a 2. I need to make it a 12, so I need to multiply it by a 6. I then come back and I rewrite my top lines. It was a b plus 2, a b minus 3, and a 1. So I'm putting them in brackets because it's one full term. I now need to come back to my red pen and basically multiply the top one here by 3 because I need to make them balanced. They have to be equivalent fractions. So if I multiply the bottom part by 3, I have to multiply the top part by 3. And that's the same with the second one here. If I multiply the bottom by 4, need to do the same thing on the top. And same with the third one. If I multiply the bottom by a 6, I have to multiply the top by 6 to make it equivalent. Next thing I need to do then is multiply in this 3 into the first bracket. So that's going to give me 3b plus 6. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually make it one full fraction, because I can put all fractions over the same common denominator, which is 12. So I'm just basically going to put everything over 12. Think about it like this. If I had 3 over 7 plus 1 over 7, that's the same as just going 3 plus 1 over 7. So I can draw a line over all of the numbers that I want to add or subtract from each other. So coming back to my question here, I have 3 multiplied by b plus 2, which is 3b plus 6. Now just be careful with these questions. When you have a negative here, that negative has to be taken into account. So imagine that it's actually saying minus 4. And what I'm doing now is I'm multiplying the minus 4 into the b, which is going to give me minus 4b. And then I'm multiplying the minus 4 into the minus 3, and a minus by a minus will give you a plus, and 4 by 3 will give you 12. And on the right hand side of the equals, well obviously 6 by 1 is 6. So the next part to this is that I need to solve the equation. Now when you're solving these ones, just take a second and think about what's happening here. The top line is equal to 6, the bottom line is obviously 12 is equal to 12 here. So I'm not really showing that equals to 12. So what I can do here is, all I need to do is solve for b. And b is on the top of the fraction. It's on this part of it, the numerator. So I can really just forget about the 12 on the bottom, because I don't need that 12 in order to solve for b. So therefore, basically all I need to do is take the 3b plus 6 minus the 4b plus 12 and let that equal to 6. It's, again, try and think of this as all you're trying to do here is solve for b. So I'm just ignoring the fraction part, the over 12, because it's not needed in order to solve for b. Then going to group like terms, 3b minus 4b, which is minus 1b, or just b. And then I'm going to put the plus 6 and the plus 12 together to make a plus 18, and that's equal to 6. Now I need to solve this, so I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides, or move over this 18, which will become minus 1b is equal to 6 minus 18. So that's going to leave me with minus 1b is equal to 6 take 18, which is minus 12. And then to solve for b, I'm going to divide by minus 1 from both sides, or just change the signs, in other words. So b is equal to minus 12 divided by minus 1, which is 12. So the value for b is equal to 12. And you can always check that by subbing it back in to the original equation and check, does it actually equal to a half?